Hello, this is Nico. Today we're going to be looking at a beta version for an upcoming collection for Nintendo Switch called the 8-Bit Brigade. And basically what this is it's a collection of homebrew games with some extras and some kind of little special features and nice touches. And this beta build doesn't have all of the games. You can see I'm scrolling through some of them, and yeah, they're not all here. So Skate Cat's not here, Hexa Wars is not here. Those two are I'm not gonna have gameplay here of those. Pretty much all the other games I'll have some gameplay. We'll kind of discuss a little bit of what type of games they are and stuff like that. But these are mostly NES games, and I say mostly because Hexa Wars is not. That's just an indie game that's kind of retro themed, and it looks, I've never played it, it looks pretty cool. It's very Geometry Wars inspired. But the first game we're gonna look at is Doodle World, and I've played this before, and I can tell you that it's a really fun little platformer. It's a very Mario-esque in its kind of gameplay style. You just move from left to right. You collect these crayons, which are the equivalent of your coins in Mario, and then that colored crayon gives you an invincibility, like the star in Mario, and then you just go into the notepad at the end, and that's the end of the stage, and you just kind of go through, and there's boss battles and stuff like that, and you have one-ups, and it's a pretty casual platformer. You do die in one hit, but it's fun. This is a good one to have on here. This is also a really great game for kids. It has this really kind of fun art style. It's it looks exactly like the name, right? It looks like notepad doodles. But yeah, some of this gameplay roles, we're gonna take a look a little bit at the Kickstarter and kind of what it has to offer. So, like I mentioned before, there is Doodle World. There's Eyra the Maiden, which I'll play next. There's Kubo 3, which we'll play. There's Nessy the Robot, Ninja 1 and 2, which are these QuickTime event games. There's Orebody, Binder's Tale, which kind of gave me some Mega Man vibes. And then there's Skate Cat, which is not in this beta build. There's a game called Space Raft. There's Yeah Beebiss 2. And then the Hexa Wars bonus indie. Now, this collection is supposed to feature haptic feedback and different color palettes and a CRT filter and unlockable games and the sound test. And some of that's here, but some of that's not as well. And you can see that there's the CR filters here, and you can also look at the instruction manuals for each game, which is a really nice touch. Now, this is Eyra the Maiden, which is kind of felt kind of Castlevania-ish as I played it, and this was probably my favorite game on here that I had not played before. A couple of these I had played a little bit of, like I said, Doodle World I've played, and yeah, some of the others that are on Evercade I've played before, but this one's really fun. There's this meat that drops sometimes that refills your health. You have 3 hearts to start. You have this little dagger attack, and there's 6, I don't know if they're cavemen or what they are, but you can see one up at the top there that you have to save for the level. And again, kind of like Doodle World, you're going left to right. I didn't play far into this. It might have other gameplay aspects to it, but from what I played, you just go to left to right, you're eliminating enemies, you can collect health, and you're saving these cavemen or whatever they are. So this one was really fun, and I enjoyed this, so I'm looking forward to playing more of this one. And back onto the topic of the Kickstarter, the Kickstarter is nowhere close to being funded. It's got a $60,000 goal. It's sitting at $4,000 or $5,000 right now still, and they have 3 weeks to go. It's kind of a long stretch that this is going to get funded, so it really needs your help. So if you enjoy games like this, 8-bit style experiences, you know, there's a link in the description. Make sure you go and support this one if you can, to make sure that this gets released. It doesn't specify whether or not they'll still release it digitally, because you can get a digital or a physical copy for this through the Kickstarter. So if it doesn't get funded, I'm not sure if they'll still release it digitally. It seems pretty far along in development, so maybe they will. But now we're going to look at the third game, and this one, I don't even know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how to describe this one. Kind of felt like maybe it was a bit inspired by like Zelda 2, but I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure what was going on. I'm not really sure what I was doing. So this one, just, I don't know. Maybe if I looked at the manual first before I played it, it would make more sense to me. But yeah, just watch me wander around for a few minutes, and then we'll just go to a different game, just so you can kind of get a feel of what kind of style it is. So now, next up, we have Nessy the Robot, and this is another platformer, and you play as Nessy the Robot. It tells some story. I kind of cut it out a little bit just to get to the gameplay, because if you want to read the story and see the story, you'll play the game for yourself. And you're just kind of moving through. You have like this punch attack. There's these little diamonds that you can grab, and this one's pretty fun. So this one, you can kind of tell the inspiration is more Mario 3, and that's kind of really all I have to say about it. So I'm just going to let some footage roll, and then we'll discuss the next game when we get to it. Now, next up here, we have Ninja 1 and 2. I mean, these are clearly black box inspired games. They say as such, but it's very evident. And these didn't really do anything for me either. They're just like these button masher, or, you know, quick time events, or like it's like a series of mini games. Like in this one, you're sprinting, so you're pressing between A and B to out-sprint the computer. There's this one here, which was okay, I guess. We were trying to throw the shuriken into the bullseye, and then there was one where you're trying to push a certain direction on the D-pad faster than the computer. Again, some people might enjoy this, not really my thing. I'll let a little bit of the footage roll, and then we'll discuss the next game. Now, next up here, we have Orebody Binder's Tale. And this felt kind of Mega Man-ish, I guess. It is a one-hit death, and you have a bunch of lives. You play as this robot, and there's this power-up you can get that gives you like a boomerang attack versus just your regular bullets. I don't know. I liked what I played of it. I played through this first level all the way to the boss for this footage, and I liked it. Again, not really much to say. Footage kind of speaks for itself. So again, I'll let it roll. Now, next up here we have Space Raft. And this one was pretty cool and a little bit different. It side-scrolling, like, van sequence kind of reminded me of, like, the older Ghostbusters game that had, like, a sequence like this. Although this was pretty fun. You're collecting, like, these boxes, and you can shoot these musical notes because it's a musical-themed game. And then I fought a boss at the end, and then the next sequence was more of like an arcade-style game sequence. It wasn't this side-scrolling view in the van, so it had some variety, which I really liked. So this was another one that I really liked, and I had never heard of this one up until playing it here. So here's some footage, and check this one out. And then last for this collection, or at least the beta version, but certainly not least, we have the very cool Yeah Yeah Beebiss 2 by the awesome John Riggs. And this is like a, this is definitely an arcade style experience, and you just kind of like clearing enemies, and there's some power-ups you can acquire, and you're timed, and then there's different layouts for each level, and yeah, you just keep going. It gave me like kind of almost Bubble Bobble vibes, I guess, where you're like clearing screen to screen and progressing. So this one would probably be really, really fun if you had somebody to play with in local co-op, because it is a 2-player game, which is the same for Bubble Bobble, right? Like Bubble Bobble is always more fun with a friend. So you could see like kind of your objective at the start of each level, kind of tells you like how many enemies you might have to eliminate or whatever you have to do. This one's pretty fun, and this one was programmed by MegaCat, which does some really great retro games. So that's kind of our whole preview of this collection. If this looks interesting to you, and go check out the Kickstarter and, back it if you can, or, maybe just keep your eye on this. Follow the developer if you want. I'll have a link to their social in the description as well. And just, support these kinds of things, because these are really fun, and you don't get this stuff otherwise without these smaller companies. Like, just really pushing. You got these smaller indie devs that make these really fun and unique games, and then you have these smaller publishers that are really trying to get these out in front of more people. So support this if you can. If you can't, I understand. It is what it is. Hopefully it still releases digitally, but if you want a physical copy, definitely support this. Go pre-order it. And hopefully this video helped you out. I kind of rambled a bit and just kind of went off the cuff, because this is kind of like a first impressions type of thing. Some of these games I'd never played before. And just in general, like, it's a work in progress. So there's, all the questions aren't really answered yet, because I'm sure it kind of depends on how the Kickstarter goes. Maybe they'll finish this regardless. If it doesn't get funded, maybe they won't. I don't know, but it seems far enough in development where it seems pretty likely that it'll still get a digital release if it doesn't get funded. But either way, check it out. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And until next time, thanks for watching.